Good evening. It is my great pleasure to help honor Laura Chen in Memoriam. She touched many lives and changed them for the better. She enriched each one of us, and for that we're grateful. Let me provide just a few examples. I first met Laura in 2003 when she took an interest in our China AIDS initiative. She was both insightful and prescient when she committed the Family Foundation's resources to sponsor a major conference held on the Tsinghua campus, featuring Bill Clinton as the keynote speaker. The products that emerged from that historic gathering positively swayed the public perception of the disease, and most importantly, instilled a much greater sense of urgency in the leadership. Thereafter, China's AIDS policies took a turn for the better. Laura made an impact. In 2006, Laura was both compassionate and generous when she lent her support after learning about the plight of children orphaned by the blood-borne epidemic of HIV/AIDS in central China. An entire orphanage in the city of Fuyang in Anhui province subsisted on her generosity. Countless number of kids were able to live, go to school, and receive psychological assistance because of her. Laura made a difference. In 2007, Laura was both thoughtful and determined when she turned her attention to the problem of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Without any medical intervention, an HIV-infected pregnant woman has a 35% chance of transmitting the virus to her newborn. In the developed world, effective medical interventions had already lowered that infection rate to less than 2%. Yet mother-to-child transmission continued unabated in China then. Laura was incensed by the social inequity and thus helped to launch mother-to-child HIV prevention programs in the provinces of Hubei and Yunnan. Later, in Yunnan, her Zeshan Foundation supported the scale-up of the prevention effort to reach half of all pregnancies in the province. Over an 8-year span, the HIV transmission rate from mother to child was reduced to 0.6%. Laura was demonstrably strategic as well. She prodded us to expand our prevention efforts to include measures to concurrently block transmission of hepatitis B and syphilis. Moreover, in 2010, she organized a meeting in Beijing to convey the success in Yunnan to the Ministry of Health. In no small way, that exchange led to the adoption of our prevention program in Yunnan as the model for the rest of China. That is leveraging at its best, and Laura made an impact once again. Over the course of 12 years, I came to appreciate Laura as one who was keenly focused on substance while shunning attention. She was always eager to get down to business while conducting herself quietly and almost anonymously. She pursued her causes with class and grace. Laura Chen was a person of significance and one worthy of great recognition.
How many lives can you touch? It is a simple question for Laura Lok Yee Chen that goes to the heart of what she stands for. As co-founder and executive chair of Zeshan Foundation, Laura was a trailblazer and directed much of her focus to public health, specifically the elimination of hepatitis B. She recognized it as a major public health challenge affecting millions globally and set out to influence attitudes at the government and grassroots level in China, the U.S., and globally. Although she did not get to see the day, her tireless campaigning sparked a global conversation at the first World Hepatitis Summit in 2015 to set up an international funding mechanism to support efforts in hepatitis elimination. The Hepatitis Fund, also known as NHEP 2030, was born, which remains the only grant-making platform to combat hepatitis. Zeshan has started incubating NHEP 2030 in its gestation phase, providing operational support and millions in cash grants to projects in China, the U.S., and beyond, with the U.S. CDC as co-funding partner. Zeshan helped establish dedicated staff for hepatitis for WHO's Western Pacific region. Laura also supported U.S. and global efforts to address hepatitis B, including the Asian Liver Center at Stanford, the first nonprofit in the U.S. that addresses hepatitis B and liver cancer among Asians and Asian Americans. Zeshan is also founding contributor to the Asia and Pacific Alliance to Eliminate Viral Hepatitis, a global initiative co-founded by the Asian Liver Center, US CDC, and WHO in 2008, and the first global effort to work towards the elimination of hepatitis. Aside from public health, Laura was passionate about global education, serving as honorary fellow of Lingnan University in Hong Kong, and advisory council member of the Hopkins Nanjing Center, a joint program between Johns Hopkins University and Nanjing University. She also was a trustee of Asia Society Hong Kong for many years. She supported our various initiatives and ensured we continue our critical work as bridge builders in arts and culture, business and policy between Asia and the West in a global context, as we navigate shared futures. We honor Laura tonight in recognition of her contribution to public health and education.
Good evening, everyone. I am particularly pleased and proud both to be here receiving this honor on behalf of Laura Chen. She hasn't been with us for the last 6 years, and we all miss her tremendously. We're fortunate, however, that we can remember her by many things, not the least of which has been her life work, especially the last 20-some years, really leading the way in philanthropy in Asia. And of note, she has been very active, very passionate about helping the Chinese population receive vaccination against viral hepatitis. Apart from that, Laura has been also very active in public service. And of course, Asia Society is just one of them, but one that she was very proud to be associated with. And so today, on this very auspicious occasion, and on behalf of my sister, I would say happy anniversary, 10th anniversary to all of you. It's been a really wonderful journey, especially in seeing how this location has turned into what it is, one of the few, very few platforms that allow for cultural exchanges, for new ideas, innovation to be publicly shared, and for different artifacts, different cultural treasures to be enjoyed, regardless of social background. So we just want to, again, as a family, thank you for honoring Laura's memory. We're just very fortunate to be able to associate with Asia Society, and we're also very pleased that her efforts is duly recognized in spite of the fact that it's 6 years after her passing. I'm sure she would be also very pleased to see all this taking place and see what Asia Society has become today. So thank you very much, and I just wish everyone a very happy evening and the 10th anniversary. Thank you.